So that is good news. Cattles and Ramie, Sactown Sports. Let's jump to the Raiders, Titans this weekend. This game is in Tennessee, so it's an early kick, 10 a.m. Ramie, both teams 0-2 coming in. Would you say this is a playoff elimination game for whoever loses?
Yeah, you're not going to the playoffs if you lose this
Really?
game. Yes. From 1970 to 2021, Nick Cattles.
Ramie Makhlouf.
233 teams have started their year 0-3.
It's a lot of teams. 6
of them made the playoffs.
Not a lot of teams.
That's not a lot of teams. Since 2000, it's only happened once. That was the Texans in 2018 with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. You lose this game, and I know it sounds crazy, 3 games into the season. Whoever loses this game on Sunday is not going to the playoffs. I can confidently proclaim that. Whoever loses this game Sunday will not be in the postseason. And that's a disaster for the Raiders. That's an absolute disaster for the Raiders.
Too early for me. I would never rule it out and say there's no way after 3 games. But out of these 2 teams, the Raiders you feel like the Raiders have to win it, right? Because the Raiders are in the AFC West, which is a more difficult division than the AFC South. And that's when we thought Indy was going to be good. They've been bad. So the Raiders in that division, even though the AFC West has not been as good as we thought it was going to be with, the Broncos not being as good, the Raiders, you can look at it and say they're really 2 plays away from being 2-0. And yes, you can do that with football a lot, but honestly, you're 2 plays away. You're 1 play in each game away from really being 2-0. The Titans have been bad. They got smoked against the Bills on Monday night. And
that was ugly.
The Bills are really good, okay? They might be the best team in football. But they got embarrassed. They could not do anything right. They could not defend. They had 0 offense. They looked awful. They looked absolutely awful. So I don't think it's a must win in the 3rd week, but if there was going to be one of these 2 teams that you feel like has to get a win, it would be the Raiders. And, we talked about whether or not they were going to win. I think 3 of the 4 of us took the Raiders minus the 1.5. Ramie took Tennessee and was immediately feeling not great about it.
Was not.
But how can Tennessee win? How can Vegas win this game against Tennessee? You got to put it all on Ryan Tannehill. You got to make sure that the slow start for Derrick Henry continues. And here was Josh McDaniels. I don't know what that was. What is that?
What, me? That noise I made?
No.
Oh.
Did you hear that?
I just made a noise. That might have been what you heard.
No.
No?
I don't know if anybody else heard that. I know Chris heard it.
I didn't hear anything.
No?
Nobody
just scared me.
I think you've lost your mind, Nick.
No, I didn't. Something just went through my
I think this Celtics situation.
Something just went through my headphones, man. It sounded like some kind of like a R2-D2 thing. It was really crazy. Anyway, here's Josh McDaniels talking about the defensive line and how they're going to play against Henry.
This game is going to be all about closing the space and try to narrow those running lanes and not let him get started. And we're going to have to rally to the football, pursue, and tackle well. And there's no shortcut to that. There's going to be some big collisions, and sometimes he delivers them, and sometimes we're going to get a chance to get at his legs. But it'll be a big challenge. We're going to know that they're going to want to get him going.
Big challenge for them. They got to limit their turnovers. They got to make sure that Henry doesn't go off. And in turn, the Raiders have to run the football. Tennessee's given up 6 yards a carry defensively this year. And I know Josh Jacobs did not make the trip because of an illness. Whoever you got back there, Zamir White, whoever you're going to run the football with, run the football at Tennessee.
You said make Tannehill beat you?
Yeah.
Which I think is almost always a good tactic to take. I'm not a big Ryan Tannehill guy.
Yeah.
But, man, and we were just talking about the ownage of Russell Wilson and the 49ers. It's not quite to that degree, but he's 4-0 against the Raiders. He has 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 71% completion percentage, and has produced at least 200 passing yards in each of those 4 games. Ryan Tannehill has been beating the Raiders. I think if you put it in his hands, he's shown that he'll beat the Raiders.
I'd love to see
maybe not every other team, but he'll beat the Raiders.
I'd love to see what Derrick Henry did in those 4 games. My guess is Henry played really well.
True.
Also,
he has not been the same this year.
If you are the Raiders defense, force them into 3rd and long. Tennessee is 30th in the NFL 3rd down offense. They have been the 3rd worst NFL offense on 3rd down. Make sure you're looking at 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 9, and not 3rd and 3. Do not make it easy.